unsportsmanlike fouls. We're going to look at the penalty associated with it first, and then we'll look at the different categories. With an unsportsmanlike foul, you get free throws plus possession of the ball. If it happened before the start of the game, you get your free throws, which would be 2, and then the jump ball is administered. If it happens any other time in the game, you get your free throws and then a throw-in from the throw-in line in your front court. How many free throws is determined on what occurred. If it's a non-shooting foul, you get 2 free throws. If you are in the act of shooting and you make the shot, you get 1 free throw in possession. If you miss the shot, depends on where it came from. So if it's a 2-pointer, 2 shots in the ball. If it's a 3-pointer, 3 shots in the ball. It also reminds you on the article 37.2.3 that 1 technical foul and 1 unsportsmanlike. 2 unsportsmanlikes or 2 technical fouls means the player is disqualified for the remainder of the game. There are 5 categories for an unsportsmanlike foul. Before we dive into each one, it's important to note that in this unsportsmanlike foul, it says the official must interpret the unsportsmanlike fouls consistently throughout the game and to only judge the action. That way we're consistent throughout the game, just like any other foul call we make, and that if it looks like an unsportsmanlike foul in quarter 1, that same conduct or contact that occurs in quarter 4 is ruled an unsportsmanlike foul as well. Category 1, not a legitimate attempt to directly play the ball within the spirit and the intent of the rules. This can occur anywhere on the court. Basically, not attempting to play the ball, which can be actions like a jersey grab or grabbing of the hips. An example would be an offensive player blows by the defender, and while he's going by him to the rim, the defender grabs the jersey or just grabs their hips. In this clip, off the rebound, red is trying to attain possession. You'll see a slight jersey tug by the white team player, which results in a U foul. Category 2, excessive hard contact caused by a player in an effort to play the ball or an opponent. So this one isn't something that's a non-play on the ball. It's an attempt to play the ball, but the contact's too hard or too excessive that we have to upgrade it. It could be a chase down block where you get the ball, but you just destroy someone. These are C2 unsportsmanlike fouls. It can also be a hard hit on a shot attempt, where someone tries to stop a shot from occurring. A hard playoff foul is what they used to call it. These are now unsportsmanlike fouls. In this clip, you'll see a hard foul on a shot attempt in the paint. Category 3, unnecessary contact caused by the defender in order to stop the progress of the offensive team in transition. This applies until the offensive player begins his active shooting. So if the offensive player starts his active shooting, this doesn't apply. That's out of the way. Now, this doesn't get called much in the game, and we're making an effort to improve our calls on that and make that call. That could be a rebound, and I take a dribble and I'm trying to start transition, and someone just fouls me across the body. Pretty much the old man foul is what they would call it, where in pickup game, the old man that doesn't want to get back on defense fouls the offense, just say, hey, foul me. They have to inbound the ball and it gives them time to get back. We're trying to eliminate that. That's like a cheap foul that players will take to stop a potential high percentage bucket. Because when you get out in transition, good things happen. You might have a 3-on-2 advantage, 4-on-3. That's why it gets practiced. So defenders tend to take that cheap foul to prevent that from happening. So we now call an unsportsmanlike foul on it, and it's called a C3. White team's going to get a stop on defense, initiate transition with a 3-on-2, and red will pick up a cheap foul to stop their transition. The C4 foul is pretty well known. They call it the clear path foul. Basically, we're in transition, it's a 1-on-1. there's no defender in front of the offensive player, and the defender makes contact behind or laterally to stop that fast break. If they become a shooter, so start their act of shooting, the unsportsmanlike C3 and 4 category no longer applies. You can have a C2, which is excessive contact, but we're not going to get into that. Basically, it's a clear path foul where if the defender's behind or on the side and they contact a one-on-one fast break, we have a U foul. A C5 foul can only occur in the last 2 minutes of the game. So with 2 minutes left or less in the fourth quarter, the ball is in the hands of the official or at the disposal of the thrower, which is in the hands of the thrower in person. And then a foul is committed before the ball has left the thrower's hands. That's an unsportsmanlike foul. The reason for that is they're gaining an advantage. They're fouling without the clock starting. In the last 2 minutes, every second matters. So for there to be a foul before the ball has even left the hands, there's a huge advantage gained and there's no play on the ball. So we call that a U foul. So when that foul occurs close to the throw-in, as long as the ball has left the hands of the throw-in or the player taking the throw-in, then we most likely won't have an unsportsmanlike foul. There is one special situation that we can have a U foul after the ball has left the hands of the throw-in, and this is a case that we don't really see often. So A1 started his throw-in motion, so the ball has left their hands to pass the ball, and B2 contacts A2 in a different area of the playing court from where the throw-in's administered. So if the throw-in's administered at the free throw line extended, say this foul occurred in the bottom left corner of the front court, so basically way off ball. They deem that an unsportsmanlike foul because there's no effort to play the ball, and there's advantage gained by not allowing the clock to start. We're going to have a perfect situation of an inbound after a made basket, where the defender fouls the offensive player before the ball has left the hands of the throw-in, which results in an unsportsmanlike foul.
Your heart will know.